So is this live on my end? Are you live?
Almost. It's not showing quite yet. There will be a little bit of delay.
Okay.
Hello, hello. Let us know when we're live.
Chat's in there.
Here we go. Nice. What's up, everybody? Happy to see all the familiar faces. I'm glad. I've been talking about this show for a while, and I'm happy and very, excited when people were talking about, let's do something focused on golf. I'm like, hey, that's my hobby. I like, that's what I'm passionate about. Then I was like, wait a minute, I need to find a reseller that knows a little something about golf clubs and reselling golf clubs. So I went out and found the best in the business. So Casey, hello, welcome.
What's up, man? You're welcome. I appreciate you having me on.
Yeah. And this is my first live that I've ever hosted myself. So I'm going to try to put some moderator wrenches on everybody because, it always helps when people can drop links and they can share stuff and all that good stuff. So
cool deal.
Cool. Let's just do a quick little introduction and see who's in the chat. Let's see here. I see Nikki T was the first one in the chat. Welcome, Nikki T. Let's see here. How come it won't let me highlight anything? Oh, I got to do it on the StreamYard side. That's right.
So glad you were the one hosting.
There we go. First, Nikki T, thank you for being my first in the chat. Kat, good evening. Welcome. Simply Dana, welcome, welcome.
Hey, Dana. Let's see.
Chris, hey, Chris.
What's up, Chris?
KJ.
KJ.
Glad you can make it. Hopefully the kids were nice to you today. Kim, welcome. Good to see you. Ken, I know he's back there dressed as Santa Claus. He grew out his Santa Claus beard. He's very festive this evening. Annie, good to see you. Welcome. Let's see who else is on here. We got a lot of familiar faces, so I'm happy to see a lot of people here.
Yeah,
Marie, good to see you. Thanks for coming. All right. We got a local guy, Greg. Greg's also from Colorado. He's not too far from where I grew up, down in Colorado Springs. So thanks for coming, Greg. Who's this person? Victoria. I'm on the other side. Victoria is dedicated Monday through Friday every morning, and her show starts at 5:30 a.m. Mountain Time, and I try to make it. I do sleep in sometimes, but I try to make it whenever I can.
Yeah, I haven't been on Victoria this morning in a while. I feel bad.
It's early, but she's consistent. Jennifer Hayes. Hi, Jennifer. Thanks for coming.
I see Jeff Beeman. That's one of my buddies there.
Jeff. All right. Hey, Jeff.
What's up, man? He's in Indiana.
Good to have you, Jeff. Thanks for coming. Let's see. It looks like I caught up. Oh, who's this guy? Tim. Tim, the one that knows a lot about everything, and it doesn't glass, man. The only way Tim can. So,
yeah, Tim all right. Glass. I can't do the glass. I watch the videos, man. I just can't do it.
All right, I'm catching up here, guys. So bear with as I try to navigate this StreamYard thing as a host. So as you all know, we're going to be talking about golf clubs today. So I thought I'd give everybody kind of a little bit of background on golf clubs. I don't know how many people have actually golfed in the chat. Maybe if you guys could just throw a 1 in there just to give me an idea. Who has actually golfed? Have you ever even been to like a driving range? Have you ever even swung a golf club? Whether you hit the ball or not, that's not the question. If you ever just attempted to, swing a golf club. So throw a 1 in the chat. Let's see if anyone's actually golfed that's in the chat. All right, I'm seeing Kim. Kim says she's hit a golf club before. Cajun. Oh, I know Cajun. Cajun will send me. There's my buddy, Matt. Let's see, it's not in StreamYard yet. Tommy's buddy.
So you ain't showing your pool? Got a nice pool out there?
Yeah, my wife and I put a pool in the backyard this summer.
Awesome, man.
Yeah, so it was nice with all the craziness when we couldn't, kind of go anywhere, and we just were able to go in the backyard and just enjoy it. So
yeah. I have a community pool. I haven't got one in the backyard, but the community pool works out nice.
Oh yeah, in our old neighborhood, we had a community pool too. But my wife was like, let's have our own. I said, okay. So we moved.
That's awesome.
There's
Putt doesn't count.
There's definitely a lag here because I see one of my best friends in the chat. I'm trying to find him. Here we go. So Matt, he and I grew up. We went to school since I think I was in the 7th grade and he was 1 year behind me in the 6th grade. And we were in band together. I mean, we golfed together quite a bit. So, he's one of my longest friends I've had. So welcome, Matt. Good to have you, man.
What's going on, Matt? How y'all doing?
Matt's a long dog. He can smash the ball case. So, yeah.
What's the longest drive, Matt? How far can you drive?
Uh-oh, I forgot to send my wife the link. She's texting me. Send the link.
That's me, man. I like hitting a long drive. It's like the home run in golf.
Yeah. Except when you get those flyers, you're not expecting it, and you fly your target.
That's true.
A dog leg or something.
Never slipper say, "Oh yeah, putt. Okay." Let's go to Frank.
Nikki T's played, Dana's played, or at least swung. Ken, that's good.
Oh, that's good, man. 270, 300. That's pretty good.
Yep. And it is pretty controlled too. It's not like he's swinging out of his shoes. So.
Yeah, if you can hit past 250 with the driver, that's really good.
Yep.
In my opinion. I mean, I hit a fade most of the time.
I used to hit a fade. It's funny. I used to always hit a fade, turns into slice if I got kind of crazy. But then I adjusted, my grip a little bit. Now I hit not necessarily a draw, but it's not going to the right anymore.
Yeah, that's a good thing. I took lessons last year to get rid of my slice, and I went to hooking.
Yeah, that's my thing. It's funny. I don't want to bore people with technical stuff about golf, and everything else. But my long irons will hook. It's crazy.
Man, don't get me started. God.
See, golf is probably one of the most frustrating things because it's so mental. Because every single shot you take is a new shot. You're not repeating anything. The environment's different. Your lie, the way the ball's sitting, everything's different.
I got this thing, man, where I get shanks. I get shanks every round. Every round I get a shank. I swear to God.
It just pops up out of nowhere?
Yeah, I'll fix it. But, I'll literally hit a 280-yard drive, 100 yards to the green and shank it. My buddy's over there like, what the hell was that?
Yep.
I'm like, man, I don't know, but I'm going to go over there and take a drop, and I'm going to put it on the green, and I will when it's okay.
They say take your medicine.
Yeah, that's
Don't
right.
Try to be a hero and hit out of some nasty stuff. Just take a drop, take your bogey double, whatever it is, move on.
Hey, I see Joey Bada Bing in the chat. Hey, Joey, you got a good driver now. I know. So I hope you got that driver.
Did
Joey
he buy it for you?
Man, some weird thing happened. I jumped on his live one night, him and Profit Monsters, and I played their little game. I don't even know what game they were playing. I just was in there, hit a random number or something, and I won this contest. And apparently they both had to buy something from my store. And Joey had ended up buying a golf club. And Joey bought a Ben Hogan forged 8-iron. I was like, no damn way he gonna hit no forged 8-iron. I don't know if Joey plays golf, so I sent him a TaylorMade driver. So, Joey, I hope you got the driver in safe condition, considering the USPS wants to damage my clothes and lose them left and right. So, that's a whole other story, man. I'm missing 15, 20 packages right now. My heart's.
I hear all the resellers talking about their stuff stuck in shipping, and some certain distribution centers are just way back. In fact, Tim was talking earlier. He said I forget what the number was, but there was some ridiculous high count of packages, like 1 million behind or something crazy.
Man, that's crazy, man. It's irritating, man, because I don't even list right now. When people are making offers, I'll message them and say, listen, you're gonna pay the asking price, and I'm gonna ship it FedEx ground for you to buy this right now.
Well, that's what Tommy was saying. He said he's not even shipping for certain carriers because they're not going to get it. So I think UPS is the one he's been going with because it's most reliable right now.
Really, UPS? I've been using FedEx. I haven't used UPS yet. USPS is definitely failing so bad. I got people messaging me. I got refunds going out. I'm like, eBay's not standing up to help me. So I'm just going to sit with my Weetabix here. And I try to drown my sorrows with that. I'm trying not to list. I'm trying not to sell until they get it all out of the way because it's so damn frustrating. God.
Yeah, the chat's moving, guys, so I apologize for not catching up here and reading all of them. So I can definitely understand and sympathize with everybody when you don't read every chat, highlight every chat, because we get to talking and you guys are talking. So I did see that Nikki said she's what did she say? She's the divot maker. Is that her nickname? Oh man.
Oh, he says I'm waiting for you to come on my live so I can open it.
What's that?
Joey, I'm choking.
Oh, you're choking? Okay. Don't choke.
Joey said he's waiting for me to come to his live. Man, it's always past my bedtime. Man, I occasionally will get past 10 o'clock because of the kids.
Yep. Let's see. Did I miss anybody else that came in the chat? I know Joey was one of the last ones I saw that popped in. Does anybody else come in that I missed? Because like I said, a lot of familiar faces, so it's good to have everybody here, and I appreciate you guys coming out and showing the support.
Yeah, definitely appreciate it.
Yeah. Cool. You were saying how you get a shank every once around, whatever. My miss has always been the dreaded hitting behind the ball, where you dig into the ground a little bit and then the ball doesn't go. Oh my gosh!
Like chunking it.
Just chunking it a little bit, just enough that you're trying to hit it 160 and it only goes 120. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's just brutal.
I started playing the ball. I started playing the ball in a front stance, like where the ball, like if you're standing in front of the ball is.
And your lead foot?
Yeah, my lead foot. Like every iron, and then the driver is definitely parallel to my left foot. But the iron, every iron is just about an inch from my left foot. And I usually get good ball height. I don't have any chunks.
Well, that's good. Yeah. Now, do you make a lot of divot after your swing, or you you kind of pick it clean?
It's really clean. I have a very thin divot. I mean, I'm not a great golfer, but
yeah, I golf a lot, and when I'm not golfing a lot, and Matt can attest to this, the game will, I'll drop 10, 15 strokes if you're not consistent, if you're not practicing, you're not playing a lot. But if you're playing a lot, I mean, your score drops so fast, which is the crazy part about it, right? It's a hard game, and it's so mental that you have to play a lot to be decent.
Really do. I'll tell you, I actually, and this is God's honest truth, I actually have more fun thrifting golf clubs than I do playing golf. And it's fun playing golf, but that's what takes up so much time for me. That I don't go golfing. Is like I'll pick a day to go thrifting for golf clubs than I would over when I play in a game of golf. A lot of people think I'm crazy. Like my friends are like, "Hey, we're gonna play golf." I'm like, nah, I'm gonna go thrifting. They're like,
right?
They ain't gonna find nothing.
You gotta choose how you spend your time, right? I mean, golfing, that's the one thing. If you're playing 8 rounds or a full round of golf, it easily takes 4.5 to 5 hours just to golf itself. Yeah. And then, depending on where you're playing, half hour to an hour to get there. If you want to warm up, drive back. I mean, it's a 7-hour, time commitment.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, especially if you got like a foursome, which is doing it.
Oh yeah. So that's, for me, golfing's fun. I like the sport of it itself, the competition. But if you can find some good friends to golf with, the social aspect is huge. There's not many places where you can go dedicate 5 hours and hang out with your buddies,
Yeah. So. I see Joey said very high of himself. I need proof.
I saw this, Joey. Yeah, when you get out here to Colorado, you definitely got to come see us. Oh, look I'm getting praises from Victoria. It's like the morning show.
There you go.
Oh, yeah. There is no question in my mind. If you overthink, you're standing over the ball. I mean, think about it. The club is tiny. The ball is tiny. Your room for error is so high, right? You're making this big movement. The chance of you starting there, coming back to there, and then hitting it, 100 yards, 200 yards plus down the way and hoping it's going to go where you intended to.
Man, that's not easy. I like to think it's the club you're using. That way I can sell more of them.
I was going to ask you, since you have access to so many clubs, do you have your set that you kind of play with a lot because you're used to it, or do you tinker?
I mean, I have tinkered in the beginning. So so thrifting golf clubs, I wanted to try out different things. So I started out with an old TaylorMade set. And I've had some Wilsons, and then I actually stumbled upon the Ping I2 stuff. That stuff sells pretty well on eBay. You're finding Ping I2 irons. They average single iron for those are $15-$20 a piece, and the whole set. And the value of golf clubs are going up.
Yep.
So that Ping Eye 2 set that sold last year for $100 now sells for $200. For the Ping Eye 2 is like a 1988 to 1992 iron set. I've tried those; they're great. And then, of course, I've upgraded as I found better things. Like I had a set of Mizuno JPX irons, excellent set of irons. I found those in a Goodwill for like $25, and of course, I sold them for like $300. And then my last school was back in the pandemic. Some guy had on the marketplace a set of TaylorMade 2.0s. If you know what those are, the burner 2.0s.
Yep.
It's like it's like over $300 worth of golf irons, a 5-iron through 8 wedge.
Yep.
And I picked those up for $80 with the drivers and woods. And I mean, I use those now, and they're just, to me, I've swung the SEM irons, the M5s, M6, all the TaylorMades. I don't see any difference. I mean, the SEM irons, they do give you a little bit more yardage, I think, because I've seen some 3 handicaps hitting those. And yeah, you might get 10 more yards out of that, but damn, if you're a high handicap golfer like me, the TaylorMade golf clubs are just going to split a cap.
If you're not shooting, in the single digits or even like 15 or less for your handicap, clubs that are going to give you the most forgiveness. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
Those games, super game improvement or even game improvement style. Because at the end of the day, you want to use equipment that's going to do what you need, not just hitting something for show. So
that's cool. Yeah, I mean, I agree. And then I was even higher handicapped than I am now, and I tried out some blades. I tried out some Titleist muscle back.
Yeah,
that gave me arthritis in my fingers.
That's just it. So I was going to talk a little bit about the golf clubs themselves. Give yourself a break. Because you've been talking a lot. We've been talking more about playing golf. Now I know a lot of folks here who are not familiar with playing golf. What does it take to understand a little bit about golf clubs? What does it take to know, when I'm going and I'm at a thrift store or at a garage sale, what should I be looking for and so forth. So generally speaking, I'm going to share my screen here. So let me know when you guys can see this. Let me make this bigger.
That's homework done here. That's cool.
A little bit. Can you see this on your end, guys?
I can see it.
In the chat, let me know if you can see it. I know there's going to be a little bit of delay.
I suck and rage a little. Hey, Jimmy, what's up, man?
All the comments crack me up.
I'll rage too, man. I'll freaking, and if I rage, it's a slice. It's a slice.
You got to be as cool, calm, and collective as possible when you play. So basically, let's talk a little bit about the golf clubs and what types of clubs are out there, because you're going to see all kinds of clubs and you're going to think, oh, it's just a golf club, but not. I mean, yes, it's just a golf club, but there are different types of golf clubs, right? So you can see in this picture, you have like your fairway woods, your irons, putter, and things like that. So the woods tend to be the bigger, longer ones. And then, so that'd be like a driver, 3 wood, 5 wood, is up to like 9 wood for that matter.
Yeah, I'll tell you something too about the woods. The higher the wood, the more money. If you want to know, the higher the wood, the more money. I don't care what brand.
Because they make less of them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like I found there's models that are making 15, 16, 18 woods. That's rare. If you see that, I mean, if you know what a wood is.
Yeah, I know. One of Matt, my friend that's in the chat, one of his coworkers, he has a 7 wood that he just uses for everything. I know a friend who uses a 7 wood. And that thing is so versatile. He can hit in so many different distances and types of shots and so forth. And they don't make a lot of that type of club. So people who fall in love with the club and then they break it, they're going to go out and try to find a replacement.
I just sold a 1996 Callaway Divine 9 wood.
I saw your video on that.
$30. That thing didn't even last long. I didn't even put one of the solds in there. That was the Hawkeye 9 wood. It sold for like 40. I just got to get it in the video. But yeah, the 9 wood, the 7 wood ain't sold just. It's called a Heaven wood. It's funny about that.
Yep.
Yeah, Callaway makes some pretty cool names, and like the cool thing is, when you talk about woods, Callaway makes one called the 11 wood. I literally pulled this golf club one time out of a trash can, but the 11 wood is called Eli wood, which is also the stock symbol for Callaway. That's their ticker symbol, ELY. I actually own stock in Callaway.
Mm-hmm.
Eli's, I don't know what. I think it's the probably the founder or something. But that's just something. If you ever see an Eli wood, it's an 11 wood made by Callaway, and it's worth $40 or more.
I think Eli was one of the early ones, if I remember correctly, because remember Callaway released the ERS ball like a couple years ago.
The ERC.
I want to say it's after the same guy.
I think so.
Okay, so let me just go through this quickly because it's kind of boring, all the details about this. But you got your woods, your 3-wood, 5-wood, have you. Then you have a hybrid, which is kind of in between a wood and an iron, and it just kind of looks like a small wood, but you kind of hit it like an iron, so it's just a smaller one. So and you kind of, as we're showing this, you hit these farther, not as far, and it kind of gets shorter. Then you have your irons, and you have a bunch of irons in your bag. And typical irons would be like, it used to be 3-iron to 9-iron, but now it's more like a 4-iron to 9-iron. Because the longer the club, generally speaking, the harder it is to hit, because you're standing farther away from the ball, and and so forth. So, and the reason why there's these different numbers is, let's say a 4-iron you hit 220 yards or 200 yards. A 5-iron you would hit maybe 15 yards shorter, and then 6-iron, 15 yards shorter than that. So that's what they call gapping, your distances between them. And you can see, you're from a trajectory standpoint, a 5-iron is going to shoot out, so it's going to go farther. A 9-iron is going to, because it's lofted in a higher amount, maybe it's 42 degrees or whatever it is, 40 degrees, it's going to shoot up in the air. And so then its trajectory is going to go higher and land a little softer, and it's not going to roll as far after it hits the ground on its first, pitch, as they call it. And then you have these shorter clubs, which are like what they call your scoring clubs, the wedges, and they're lofted even higher. So you might hear something called a gap wedge or approach wedge, sand wedge, lob wedge. So these are typically like a 50 degree, 52 degree, 56 degree sand wedge, 60 degree lob wedge. And that's idea there is you're, within 100 yards, and you need to pop it up high, and you want it to land soft so that, it'll just land where you're looking for. And then of course the putters, the putter, I think, is the most unique club in the bag, because it's, it's the flattest surface. It has the highest degree of loft. And the way golf works, let's say I'm playing par 4. What that means in golf terms is I'm going to hit my first shot. That's one stroke. And then my second shot, I should get to the green. So it's 2, your tee shot, your approach shot. So you should get to the green in 2. So then you should 2 putt, or, use your third stroke for, your first putt. And then the 4th stroke should be to go in the hole. So that's why it's a par 4. It should take you 4 strokes to get the ball in the hole. So with that in mind, half of the strokes you should play, if you're a good player, is using your putter. That's why they say, what's it? Drive for show, putt for dough. Is that one of the sayings?
Yeah, drive for show, putt for dough.
So,
hey, Dan, I see some of the comments in here too. They're asking some questions. I know one, Victoria asked about the wood, about how this head size. So I see your diagram. You're doing an excellent presentation there of everything. But I got some clubs so they can see too. If you can see
I do too. Yep.
Yeah, there's a driver. There's a VR driver made by Nike. So it's got a big head on it. That's a driver. And then distinguishing that, it'll be a big ass head on it. Excuse my friend, big old head. The woods ain't gonna have as big as head, but they still have a bigger head. If you can see that, this is a Callaway Diablo wood. And then you got a hybrid, which is, it's kind of like an iron, but you'll see they'll have that kind of head to it. They're not as big. And Jimmy asked also in there that are the older hybrids worth money? And that's yes, especially if they're name brand. You're going to look after the name brand clubs. I know y'all, if you're reselling this stuff, looking for TaylorMade, Titleist. I literally get a notepad and write that down. If you're looking, Titleist, TaylorMade, Ping, Mizuno,
Callaway. And for hybrids, Adams is a big name for hybrid clubs.
Yeah, Adams.
I think they were bought by TaylorMade. So a lot of our Adams hybrids, I don't even know if they make them as branded as Adams anymore. They're probably just TaylorMade hybrids if they're a little bit newer.
All those golf clubs, I just got that bag. I just picked up in the marketplace for $65. It's come with a whole Adams hybrid set. So like this is the one you're talking about. Because Adams, and I think late 90s did that. They did the tight lie set, and that's Adams. But then they went TaylorMade. So now they come out with these things called A3s. I'm trying to put it up here. I'm trying to. There you go. That's an Adams iron he's talking about.
It's a really chunky iron. Yep.
Yeah, this iron set right now. I mean, in the bag over here probably sells for like $200. Like I literally just picked this up. I think Wednesday night, the night before I picked up a Scotty in the Goodwill, and
Oh my gosh,
that was crazy.
So Scotty Cameron, real quick. So in putters, like if you're going to play miniature golf, the putting on the green, Scotty Cameron is the Rolex of putters. I can't say it enough. If you ever see Scotty Cameron on a putter and it's, not $300, you can buy it for a reasonable price, buy it because they are sought after big time.
I've only found 6 in my 3 years, including that one you saw me post on Instagram. And then I literally was shaking in the Goodwill because I only paid $3 for it. It's worth like $500.
Right.
And I'm not going to sell it because I saw Cincinnati. Cincinnati Picker put out a video. I mean, I'm not a big channel like him, but he did one video where he found a Scotty Cameron. And I have that same Scotty. But those putters, not only, I mean, like a lot of golf clubs, just like new cars, you buy them new, they go down in value. Yeah, you can buy them at thrift stores and resell them for more. But that is the only golf club that actually retains and gains value.
Yes.
So especially that one, like Cincinnati Picker had, that's a Tiger Woods putter. And anything can connect with Scotty Cameron, Tiger Woods, and Titleist, you don't really want to sell. I don't think. To me personally, it's a collector item that goes up in value. So that's just Scotty Cameron stuff.
Yeah, and you went from the golfing perspective, the buyer perspective. Oftentimes, the golfers, manufacturers will typically release new models every year or every 2 years. Like Titleist tends to kind of skip a year because their equipment is known as a little higher price for better players on average. So they don't release as many, new models of their clubs. But like TaylorMade, Callaway, they tend to release new clubs in the full bag every year. And oftentimes multiple types, for good players, who play blades or, they'll call them a pro version or, game improvement version, et cetera. So a lot of golfers will play their clubs for, 5 years, couple years, and then they're going to get rid of their entire bag, or sometimes they'll keep it and buy a whole new set, or they'll buy a new driver every couple of years or whatever, because they want the newest technology. They want to be able to hit it farther. As much as golf is just a sport, it's also kind of a status icon too. You're out there, people want to, I have the new, I have the new putter, I have a new driver, what have you. I'm just as guilty. In fact, my friends often say, Dan, did you get any new clubs this year? Because they want to either buy my old clubs or have me give them my old clubs.
I'll tell you, man, that what you're talking about, I feel like I get in trouble with that because I know a lot of people want the newest and best thing.
Yep.
And I've played with some golfers, and sometimes and I feel like I've been not welcomed back because I'm a thrifter and I'm a reseller, and a lot of my friends, people who are around me golfing know that. And I'll say, man, I found this at yard sale for $20, and I know damn well they paid like $400 for it. You're like, who is this guy?
Yeah. To put it into perspective, if you were to go into a golf store tomorrow and buy a new set of irons, the latest models, brand new off the shelf, you're going to spend, for a good set, you're going to spend $1,200 for 8 clubs, maybe 7 clubs. So that's only half your bag. A brand new driver is about $500. A 3-wood might be, $350 or $400. A higher end putter, $200 to $300, maybe $400. So, like Casey said, you buy it, it's used, now it drops in value. So people who are out buying new equipment, they have stuff that still has value. So if you have friends who have golfed, your grandpa doesn't golf anymore, your uncles don't golf anymore, whatever, see what they have laying around, because sometimes those guys, it's just collecting dust and they don't ever intend to do anything with it. Go check it out, because they might have some gems in there that are worth some money, and they were planning just to donate it. That's why a lot of thrift stores get these things, especially in warmer climate type places, down in South Carolina, North Carolina, Florida, especially down in Texas, where people can play year round because they're not affected by the weather as much. You're going to see a lot more clubs that, that you can buy, when you're outsourcing.
I'll tell you too, with the resale thing too, when it comes to golf clubs and what you're just touching on with that So the reason why I am so successful, and most resellers will be successful reselling golf clubs, especially now, is because that new technologies came out, and the old technology they're going to move on. So they're going to donate their old golf clubs, and they're going to sell off their old golf clubs, and they don't feel like dealing with much. They're not going to sell them on eBay like most people. And that's why you score so much at garage sales and the Goodwills. And then the golf is going up in value this year for the pandemic.
Yep.
Like, I don't know, it's crazy. There's a video I did earlier this year where I picked up a set of TaylorMade RBZ irons, and I sold them for $120 back in March. I looked up the sold comps recently. They're like $350 now. Like, God. And the thing Tommy was talking about too, I saw him in the chat. He's talking about the Ping Answer Scottsdale putter. So that's the putter. The putter he's talking about, that's actually what putter that got me into this whole business. My neighbor came over one day with that putter. It's the Ping Answer Scottsdale. There's a weird design. Yep. They didn't make many of them. It's worth over $1,000. But I didn't know anything about golf clubs. And my neighbor came over to my house. He said, "See this putter? I just paid $12 for it at a yard sale." I was like, "Yeah, well, man, who cares? I mean, sorry you wasted the money on a gas to go garage selling." And that's me working my 50-hour week job. He goes, "Dude, this putter's worth $1,000."
Yeah,
like, "Yeah, right." And he sold it for $600 just because he wanted quick cash. But yeah, I mean, that Ping Answer putter, man, that's a putter that you want to have. I've had one design like that. Just call it a Dale head. Like those Ping Answer putters, you'll find those in Goodwills. And there is that design that will sneak up in there time and time. You find the Scottsdale putter, God, that's a holy grail. So you be careful with those Ping Answer putters because it could be that one if you find it.
Yep. That's what I'm saying. If you see something, you have the time, look it up. Because if you Google, pretty much every club, you should be able to look at the head of the club and it'll have the brand. So if it's Ping or if it's, Nike or whatever, and then it should have the model too. So you should be able to find any club online and see roughly what it's worth, and you could even take a picture, and use a Google Lens and take a picture.
Yeah. I see Jimmy says something too in there about shipping. I mean, shipping really easy. USPS does provide the free shipping boxes that you can get on their website. And they're just triangle. I think I've showed you that before or in some videos. And you just Frankenstein the box if you want to ship multiple irons. I have a few videos out to show you how to do it.
Oh.
But if you do run into the problem where you don't have the USPS boxes and you don't want to use USPS, you can go to Amazon and you can use their little, it's like 36 4x4 boxes. They're like 98 cents a piece. You shove the golf club down there, man, and just make sure you tape the head up with some bubble wrap. Just make sure it's secured in the box. But I mean, it's really not that hard. It does sound bad. And usually all these golf clubs are 2 pounds or less. So it usually can go to any state in the United States for $10 or less. I think California might get to 12. But I mean, I just shipped a whole iron set to California for $10 on FedEx.
Yeah.
FedEx ground. I was surprised. And then 2-day was $14, which I'm kind of skeptical on that discount eBay gives. So I'm new to FedEx when it comes to eBay. And I seen it said I was going to save 81%. And I'm trying to find in my eBay, invoice here where they take that money out. I can't find it. So I'm going to call them because I was like, dude, 81%, is that real? I mean, I'll ship 2-day FedEx all day and be a guaranteed delivery, but I want to make sure that that's not because FedEx, they pull it out your statement or they bill you on like a monthly basis, I think, where like the USPS, they take it out automatically. I get a big rant about that. That's just something I've experienced, and then being transparent on how to ship the golf club. This sounds intimidating because that's what used to intimidate me when I first started out, but it just got easier and easier.
Okay. Now here's an interesting tip that when I've told this to other people, they didn't even think about it. So if you have any golf stores near you, or even like, a Dick's Sporting Goods or something like that, just a general place that happens to sell golf equipment, golf clubs, when manufacturers send them the equipment, they send them in boxes designed for the golf clubs, especially irons. So you're going to see a nice, slim, long box, and it's going to have styrofoam that you actually insert the golf, the club heads into. And oftentimes they'll just recycle and get rid of those things, especially for like drivers and other clubs, putters especially. So if you ever want to go get some boxes, go in there and ask them, say, hey, do you have any old golf club boxes that could have, and a lot of times they'll just give them to you.
I mean, I've seen that too with that box you're talking about. You can go there, stores in the back, like they'll chunk them boxes sometimes, but they keep the dimensions down though. And a lot of those companies, like I bought golf clubs from Second Swing before, and
I buy a lot from Second Swing.
Man, you ever seen those lots that they done?
Mm-hmm.
Man, last year before I was even on YouTube, man, I bought I don't know probably 30 of those lots. But back then, golf wasn't that big, so I was buying these lots for $100 to $150 and getting 30 golf clubs shipped to my door, FedEx.
Yep.
Damn, well now I can't get nothing. Like the bids are so high. I'm like, I'm not paying $300 for 24 wore out Titleist Vokey wedges. I mean, no.
Yeah, because golf with the pandemic, golf didn't slow down. In fact, it got busier.
Oh man,
outside, easy to social distance.
Yeah, it's. Oh, I was out there. I mean, I got fired from my job. The first thing I did was go. I got my golf gloves and went golfing. I mean, I didn't stress out. I'm going golfing, man.
Yep.
We out there. It was very busy. Not gonna lie, but I mean, and then the golf business just took off. I mean, like I'm not gonna lie to you, man. If I would have got fired sooner, I'd have made six figures this year in the golf business. I still almost did that, and I will do that next year, six figures. If the inventory is down and we don't have 100 people in chat that's living around me know what I'm doing. I say, you don't want no competition, but I mean, it is what it is. I mean, they put out stuff daily. I mean, or I can go. I don't know. There's a yard sale tomorrow. I saw this. It's like 50 miles from me, but it looks tempting. I really don't want to go yard selling anymore this year. I just want to stay at the house. Yeah, man, that itch is. I have a bad itch for looking for this stuff. Worse than playing golf. Because playing golf, you can get that itch quick once you start hitting them good.
I haven't golfed in probably, I don't know, like over a month at least now. And every day I wake up wanting to go golfing.
And you just gotta go do it. I mean, I understand that you live in Colorado and it's snowing because I've already thought of that because it was 35 degrees out here one day and I saw the people playing at the Muni.
Oh, I don't care if it's cold as long as I can actually see the course.
See, a lot of people right here complain about the cold weather, and I was like, those poor guys out north, man, or out west, is like, the hell, they got snow on the ground. They can't even play golf. I mean, we're crying about 30-degree weather. Yep. So it was 60 degrees last Saturday, and I mean, nobody wanted to play golf. They said, well, it's cold. I mean, hell, it's 60 degrees outside. I'm going to play golf. I mean, I ain't played in a month, so I'm going to play golf by myself. I mean, it's nice over here. I ain't gonna lie. It's cold right now, but it ain't going to stay cold long.
Let me take a break. I've been talking a lot, so save your throat.
Yeah.
There was an off-topic. The chat moved on me. Somebody was asking or mentioned that The Mandalorian was good tonight. Season finale, I believe. I haven't watched it yet, so no spoilers, please.
Yeah, I see it. Jeff's talking about that. Yes. I haven't scratched the surface yet. I've watched the first episode of season 1, and that's. I mean, I'm way behind.
It was just getting started.
I just tried to watch it tonight, and I fell asleep last night at 8:00. I have no time.
Yep. So Jimmy asked a good question. If you're going to be selling golf clubs, typically how do you store them, or store them in your spot? If you don't have a lot of space.
I mean, honestly, if you watch some of the videos I've done, I have some of them where I show if I did like a sold video. I'll show you how I store them, and I don't do a whole lot of sold videos anymore. That's all I do is sell golf clubs while resellers want to do other items. But anyway, I use those little storage racks you get from Home Depot. They're pretty long and Lowe's, and I mean you can just stack the golf clubs kind of on top of them because I've seen some golf club resellers, especially newer ones, how they're doing it. And I mean I know you can stack them up against the wall, but then you can't figure out where they're at. And when you get over 500 golf clubs in your inventory, you want to really just see the head of it. So I would say use bags. If you're not really, because I know Jimmy, he sells mostly toys, and if he wants to mingle with the golf clubs, just take like a golf bag and just stick them all in there. Just put your woods, your drivers, your putters, and your wedges. And iron sets, just put a rubber band around them and set them up to the wall. You'll be able to identify those easily. But yeah, I would just
Yeah, I don't sell golf clubs, but I have a lot of storage in the basement, a lot of sets and other stuff. And I do that. I have golf bags that I just keep them in there. And I bought a rack that holds golf clubs and so forth too. So
That's
Yeah.
usually how you do it. I mean, I have a big rack in my garage. I have a single car garage, and I keep like drivers, putters, wedges, single irons, and then I probably have 200 golf clubs in a death pile. And then I mean, I'm serious. It's crazy, but it's
I
because
believe it.
yeah, they're like $15, $20 golf clubs. So I just it just accumulated. It's not like I actually paid any money for them. They just accumulate with bags of golf clubs I've gotten, and I just don't have any. I don't feel like listing them, or they just don't have enough value for the stuff that's in front of them, so they get pushed back. But yeah, I'd use the golf bags to store my if you're trying to resell them and store them.
Thanks for coming, Ken. Appreciate it.
Take care, Kim.
Yeah, Tommy's right. I mean, you can find probably some cheap golf bags at yard sales or whatever, right? And so typically a golf bag they'll have different divider tops. Some that are like 3-way, as they call them, or a 5-way, and they have, or there's even like 14, way, which has individual slots for each club, or others that you can put multiple clubs in the different slots. So look for the ones that have the openness, so you can stuff more in there. Otherwise, if you have the 14-way, you really can only put 1 or 2 in each slot, and you can't really keep as many. And that's another thing too. Golf bags, they're kind of intimidating because they're big, but they don't weigh very much. They're designed to be light, because especially if you can carry them, if you're walking the course. And so, as long as it fits in the box, as you guys all know, when you're shipping big things, they don't weigh a ton. And golf bags can be money. If you get like Sun Mountain or Titleist golf bags or other ones, they're sought after. So
Yeah. Oh, Ping Hooper bag.
Ping Hooper is like the classic.
They weigh like 5 pounds, and I pick them up all the time. Well, I used to pick them up all the time. I don't see them lately, but they sell for $80 to $100 a piece. And then you can do this, man. Like when shipping them, they're usually go to Amazon, and they say this box in bulk. So you see this is a box. It's 48 by 10 by 10. I can ship any golf bag in the United States for like 20 bucks. 20, 30 bucks. I go to California for 30, but anything under 12 pounds in that box.
Okay.
Oh man, Nurse Flipper said the rangefinders. Man, the rangefinders.
Oh boy.
Well, I almost got to fight with somebody about a rangefinder one time. Well, we about to fight. $10 for a rangefinder, and it was like I forgot.
So rangefinders, they vary. They're different brands, and they're expensive. I mean, you can buy rangefinders that are $600 or $700 that have slope technology, and not just the laser, but all kind of other stuff. They vibrate. I mean, there's it's just a digital device, right? So yeah, to look up rangefinders too if they have them, especially if they're working, of course.
So I tell everybody, man, like working, find, like yard selling, like beyond the golf clothes, that's also other golf stuff sells well. And you can sell FootJoy golf shoes. You can sell the bags. You can sell. I mean, anything. If you go to a yard sale near a golf course, man, you're gonna find nice stuff. Not only golf clubs too. You're gonna find the designer clothes, designer bags.
My wife is funny. She said, "Are you gonna do the live from the basement where all my golf stuff is? Because I have shelves of golf shoes. I used to be a big shoe guy.
Heck yeah.
So if you're going to talk about golf and shoes, so golf shoes, I probably have, and I've gotten rid of a bunch. I probably have 40 to 50 pair of golf shoes in the, on shelves downstairs.
I like shoes.
FootJoy, Echo, those are nice golf shoes. Adidas, anything Adidas Boost golf shoes, and if they're in decent shape, they will sell.
I picked up a set of nice not Callaway on FootJoys. I forgot the name. That's another name. And then if you find the all leather FootJoys.
Oh yeah, all leather, especially if
they don't have a size.
Golf shoes last a long time, and typically, they don't allow you to use metal spikes anymore. A lot of them are just the soft kind of, plastic or rubber spikes, but you can replace them. You can just pop them out or unscrew them and replace them. So if you look at the bottom and it looks like the spikes are kind of beat, they can be replaced. People want the actual shoe.
Yeah, they just want the shoe. And then if you do get the plastic, like the ones that sometimes the plastic ones can get ground down the shoe, it's kind of aggravating, but you can take them out. You gotta take a drill and drill it out, but it's
sometimes you can get like a pair of needle pliers and just twist them out. Yeah. They'll pop out. Yeah. And then just clean it out, and then they make different types of spikes that either clip in or twist in. There's just different types. Like Nike used to make a type, Adidas would make a type that they use, like a Q-click, or I forget the names of them, but they had different types of locking systems.
I'll tell you something else sells pretty good too on the head covers. Like I watched that Joey bought a Bing. Him and Drew went thrifting in Orlando, or where they're down in Florida.
Mm-hmm.
They saw Mickey Mouse and Goofy head covers, and they passed up on them. I was watching the video. I was like, oh my God, dude, you see that, you buy it. Those head covers, man. I just sold a Pink Panther head cover for like $20. I have Marvin the Martian head cover. It's over 30. I mean, all the Mickey Mouse stuff. You look up Soul Comps on Mickey Mouse head covers. You're like, what? Hey, that stuff's everywhere too. Like I see head covers all the time. Scotty Cameron head cover is worth just as much as the golf club itself.
Yeah. Now think about this. So a lot of times, you typically only use head covers for your putter and for the woods. Usually they make iron covers and so forth, but usually people don't use them for the most part. So when you're golfing, you're taking the head cover off, people are losing it, whatever, so people sometimes will want to buy a replacement, or they'll want to buy a specialized, novelty kind of a head cover or a rare head cover. So if you see those head covers, look them up.
Yeah, then Thrift Shop says balls. I see new balls all the time, no jokes. So the balls, yeah, if you see new balls, especially Titleist balls, pick them up. Like I just sold some old Titleist distance something. I forgot what they were, and they weren't even Pro V1s, and they still sold for $25. And I picked them up for $2. Any of the name brand Callaway, TaylorMade, Titleist golf balls that are brand new in the sleeves, I would pick that up. And you occasionally find that inside the golf bag when you buy a set of golf clubs from somebody. So golf balls is crazy. Used golf balls sell pretty good. I mean, you can take and clean them. I don't have time. I got thousands of golf balls. I could probably sit here and resell them all day, as long as they're name brand, but I just don't got time to sit there and clean golf balls all day. Winter Pooh head covers. Yeah, dude, they sell pretty good, man.
Yep. So Chris is the plus man, and he shows me stuff. He's like, I think this is just a head cover, and like, sure enough, in fact, he showed a bald eagle, and I'm pretty sure it was a head cover, and it wasn't like a cheap, like cartoony looking one either. It looked very realistic.
Macari is the hidden market for golf. I looked at Macari the other night. I was looking at it. And I was like, dude, those prices are cheap, man. I'm like, what are they doing? You can find Scotty's on there for less than $100. I don't know if I'm gonna start exploring that, because I was looking the other night, watching. I guess the Posh Girls or something are putting golf clubs on there, and they're not pricing from eBay. I'm not knocking Posh Girls. I don't know what's going on, because the prices on Macari are cheaper. And Facebook Marketplace, the prices are higher. Like I'm selling drivers and woods $20 more on Marketplace than I am on eBay. So that's gonna be my biggest game changer next year. Is I'm gonna probably list a lot on Facebook Marketplace. They may even bring the fees back, but I'm making more money on Marketplace as far as the value goes.
No doubt. And so I'm not a reseller, but I have resold golf clubs, because I'm a tinkerer and I tend to change out irons every couple of years, whatever,
Yeah.
Or I have multiple sets. I'm like, oh, I don't need this set anymore. I mean, I had a set of Mizuno irons that I played for less than a season.
What'd you have?
This guy for $800.
Shit, what'd you have? What irons?
They were the Mizuno JPX. I think they were the JPX 900.
Okay.
Or no, not the 900. I have that still. Maybe the EZs. I forget.
So that's the ones I had.
Kind of the copper color, not the orange one, but the blue.
Okay, I had the orange copper color ones. And dude,
that was like the model right before the ones I had.
They hit amazing, man. I had a hard time letting them go. I regripped them too. I spent $100 on regrips, and then I started swinging the TaylorMades, and I got 5.
With my Mizuno, those EZs, they were, like the name says, easier to hit, but the distance was crazy on them.
Yeah, it's not a regret selling them, but the TaylorMade 2.0 just had a better feel, and that's weird. You start talking about golf clubs and how you once you start playing enough, you'll start telling a difference. But if you just starting out, really don't.
Right.
You ain't gonna notice anything. You might as well just hitting some old Wilsons around.
Yep. And wedges. I mean, you see all the wedges that are out there. There are so many, and wedges are kind of like a putter. A lot of people fall in love with certain types of wedges, and even though it looks old and rusty, a lot of them are designed to look like that when they actually perform better.
Yeah.
They spin the ball more.
All you gotta do is dump them in some vinegar, and then take a steel wool.
Yep.
It'll knock it off. Like it'll look really good, and then the buyers most of the time pick that over an old rusty one. But they are supposed to rust. If you see like the Cobra makes one called Trusty Rusty.
Yep.
And then you got Callaway makes a rust. I mean, it's the Titleist, the old can wedges. They don't sell it. Excuse me, they don't sell that good. Like $15, $20 wedges, but it's very true. And if you find the wedges, speaking of those, the Vokies, like their values are weird because Titleist has so many different models now. A lot of people like that red dot, the spin wheel. Then you got SM4 through 7, now to 8.
Yep.
So they kind of decrease the value on those golf clubs as the years go on. Yep. But the wedges to the sets, that's where you get into like resale.
Oh, so I was going to show that. So like for instance, I have these here. They're Mizuno. I don't know if you can make it out, but they're Mizuno 919, the Hot Metal Pro. Okay, so this is a pitching wedge. Now, some people you'll actually get a set. You can buy a set gap wedge that's also Mizuno that goes with the set. Or you can get a specialized wedge, like a 50-degree, for example. So it'll be up to the taste how they want to blend their sets, as they call them, right?
Yeah, I just found one of those Mac Daddies in a Goodwill for $3. A P grind. I was like, you gotta be kidding me.
Oh, that's what I played. When I had the first set of PM grinds, and then I got this one because it has the longer toe.
Dude, that's the one I just had. It has the longer toe. What grind is that?
The wedges come with it'll be stamped with the loft. So this is the 54-degree with the 14-degree.
Okay, that's the.
And this is the. It doesn't show what the grind is. I mean, it's a fairly simple grind, probably like an S grind or something.
Yeah, I like it, man. I played this Callaway last Saturday. The one just like you have is like the higher toe. I don't like the higher toe clubs.
Yeah, right.
But I mean, I did. I mean, I was like, I don't know, 40, 50 yards out, and I put it on like 5 inches from the green. And I mean, I liked it, but I did sell it. I mean, I have a TaylorMade. I have an older TaylorMade like TP, one of those TP Tour Preferred lob and wedges. I'm trying to get too crazy with the wedges either because I feel like the more clothes in the bag get distracting. So I try to get comfortable with what I have, and then once I get comfortable, I'll start adding stuff. But then I
don't even use my lob wedge anymore. My 58 I carry.
Oh yeah,
54 is so versatile that I've forced myself like the last couple months just to start using it more. But it's like I could almost play most short shots with the 54. Because that short game is so much feel.
I can't. Yeah, I just do a sand with a 56 and a 60. The 60, I'm always using the 60 in the sand, and I'll even open it up to get it out. But I don't get too off topic with the resale there. I know people.
I know.
Yeah, I mean the wedges sell. If you find a wedge in the Goodwill that goes to the set, like he just had, like the pitching wedge or that gap wedge, most times the resellers or the people buying off of eBay are looking for that. They want this. They want that wedge to that set. The gap wedge, like Ping, there's be a U wedge. You'll see a U on it. Or,
if you see a club that has a G on it, or an A on it, or Ping calls it U for utility wedge,
or A. I got an A
for approach wedge. People are looking for this because you typically, like I showed in that diagram, you typically see, 4-iron through a 9-iron and a pitching wedge in a set. Usually it doesn't come with the gap wedge unless you order it.
Also, if you're looking for single irons, the 1-iron. When you find a 1-iron, I don't care what model it is. If you find a 1-iron, buy it. Because either a club.
There's a interesting golf joke, right? That only God can hit a 1-iron because it's such a hard club to hit.
Remember Jack Nicklaus?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. She asked if they're older golf clubs like antiques worth more. Man, I, it's almost like cars. Like I don't know much about older cars, and I don't know much about older golf clubs when it comes to the hickory shafts. They're worth money. They're going to be worth more than what you probably pay for them at a thrift store most of the time. I just don't know the value because they're hard for eBay.
There were some old cheap ones made too, right? But if you're getting like Persimmon clubs or other ones, there might be a little value there.
So those, I would say, like if you see Ben Hogan or McGregor stamped on the head and they look really old, I would pick them up because those are the two name brands that I would normally look for.
Yep.
Well, as far as the hickory shafts, I don't know, man. Like I get so confused with hickory shafts. I just picked some up and I ain't even listed them yet. I just want to get motivated about it. I mean, I like, some of the 60s stuff, Ben Hogan. Ben Hogan is an older and then newer that sells very well. But when we get before the 60s, I lose sight. I don't know much about golf clubs when you get there, just like cars. I mean, I know 70s, 80s, and 90s stuff when it comes to cars, but when you get before the 50s or 60s, I'm gone.
I have some old Ben Hogan iron sets downstairs where I have their blade sets of Ben Hogan's. And
is it the Apex?
I think it starts with a 2-iron in each of the sets.
Dude,
and then I have a couple sets of Ben Hogan woods that go with some of the sets too.
Well, that can be.
I would never play them. I've hit one just for fun. They're not easy to hit, but they're just more of a collectible, just kind of fun to have type of thing.
So Jeff says it just depends on what you find.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know. So I was looking at, I just don't know. Like I can't figure them out. And they're aggravating, and I don't really have a book to go buy. Soul comps on eBay are vague, and there's so many models out there. And then because I've had people come up to me with the old, like I have an old McGregor putter from 1913, I think. I put it on eBay for like $300, and nobody's buying it. Nobody's offering, so that's why.
You ever seen these in the wild? Even roll putters? It's a newer company, and the idea is the milling of them is fatter in the middle and skinnier on the ends. So they're supposed to, depending on where you hit the ball when you're putting, it's supposed to give you an even roll distance, hence the name even roll. But they're pricey. They're like $350 a piece. So I don't know if you've ever seen them out in any thrift store because I think they're just so new that people probably aren't getting rid of them yet.
I haven't found Evan roll. I have not found one of those yet. And I know what you're talking about. I found some I have found some what you call them. So I was looking at a comment that, all right, Two Dudes Picking said, if I have an incomplete iron set, missing one in the middle, the only issue you'll have with that is if you're missing the 7, 8, or 9 iron. If you can have the back to the set, 7, 8, 9 and pitching wedge. If you got that in the set, you're good. But if you're missing the 6 or the 5 or the 4, you shouldn't have an issue. But if you're missing like the 8 iron and 9 iron, you got a problem selling it. That'll kill the value of an iron set there if you don't have that back of the set.
Mm-hmm.
Tommy says, if I have some vintage Tylus blades and loads of olden wooden Tylus woods, I haven't researched yet. The Tylus blades, it just depends on which one. There's a lot that are worth a lot of money. The woods, I mean, if you got the PT, they're called Pro Trajectory, the ones that Tiger used back in the 90s, those are worth money. But a lot of the older Tylus persimmons I don't think they're worth a lot of money. I have not had any luck selling those. The blades, though, depending on which ones you got, they could be worth some decent money. I'm not going to say they're like grails, but they're okay.
Yeah, one thing we haven't touched on is if you see Nike golf clubs out there, Nike stopped making golf clubs a few years ago. And if someone loves Nike clubs and they break one of theirs, or they just want to replace their set or whatever, they can't just go buy them. So they have to buy them, in the resale market.
You just name your price. They buy it.
Yep. So look for Nike clubs.
I have a VR drive. I'm going to pick it up again.
Oh, yeah. If you see a VR, it stands for Victory Red. That was like what Tiger's branding was when he was, in his heyday. The VR.
The VR.
Yep.
Victory Red stands for what?
VR is Victory Red.
I didn't know that, man. I just know it stood for $100 bill.
Nice. He's like, that's a Benjamin Franklin every day.
Every day. I'm serious.
Well, think about it. Everyone sees Tiger in his Sunday, victory colors. He wears his black top, a red top, black bottom. So he wears his Victory Red. That was his thing.
Yeah. I didn't know that. I didn't know stuff. I think I probably knew that stuff for Victory Red, but it just never crosses my mind. Like, I see a VR driver, I can spot one thing. I can spot a lot of things from hundreds of yards away.
Now, that's an interesting point, too. If you see things that have pro on them or tour on them, oftentimes those are tour edition or pro edition clubs, which are harder to hit because they're a little bit, usually a smaller profile that a better player would play. And I don't know if you found that those tend to be a little bit rarer or maybe have a little bit higher value, Casey?
What, the tour?
Mm-hmm.
As long as it's in the name brand section, I've seen a lot of the copies try to put that tour name on there, and it doesn't sell.
So I see a lot. TaylorMade.
Yeah, you see that on it. Like TaylorMade, I have TP on there. If you have a TP written on the golf club, it's going to sell. So if you're looking for the soul comps and you see that same like TaylorMade, for instance, if you have a TaylorMade burner driver, you're looking up soul comps. It says TP on it. It's worth more. So look for the TP model, not the actual, because they look the same.
Yep.
And you also want to be careful with TaylorMade stuff too. Between the years of 2005 or 6, maybe 7 to 14, and now there's a lot of fakes. So,
yeah.
I got some fakes in my garage right now, some R7s. I can't even believe I actually hit them. They hit fine, except for the wedge.
I got people make videos about buying fake clubs, and they'll take them to the range, and they don't perform. They look the same. It's hard to tell the difference. So
I got raw footage right now to do a video on fake TaylorMade golf clubs, but I swear to God, I ain't gonna get more than 200 damn views. I'm like, I can't break through the damn YouTube space, so I'm gonna try I am gonna try to put that video out probably next year. I have the video of me hitting the clubs. I'm not going to sell them because I don't want to sell that. Those Nike clubs. I don't want to sell. Yeah, Nike. Dude, there's a set out there that doesn't have a serial or something about them. They don't have any name on it. It's just a blade. And you find those are rare. Like I sold like just a 4-iron over the summer for $100. It would wear on the face. McBurner TP.
So Tommy makes a good point here. So essentially, when you see forged, that's a more expensive iron to make.
Yeah.
A lot of those other ones, they're not forged, and therefore they're typically a little bit more forgiving when they're not forged, and it's a cheaper club for the manufacturers to actually produce. When you make a forged iron, it's a little bit more expensive process, and it's for better players typically. So forged tend to be more expensive. So let's say Mizuno irons, let's say they sell their regular set for $900. The forged version of that set will be an additional $100 or $200 for the iron set, brand new. So that's why forged tends to be a little bit more expensive.
Yeah, I think it's like a softer metal, and you'll see like Mizuno, the MP series, they make a lot of. That's a forged iron. That's worth a lot of money.
Yep.
As far as their age. You'll see a lot of wear on the face. Usually a lot of scare people off to buy them as a reseller. But all you do is dip it in vinegar. Even with the wear on those faces of the forged irons, they still sell.
Yeah.
Like it's just I don't know why, but they still sell.
They're beat up. I tend to not keep my clubs for very long, but I don't know if you come across in here, but the face of the iron, these get beat up, and you can see where you hit. A good player is going to have a little sweet spot right here. And they're gonna beat that spot up, So look at the face of the iron to see what kind of condition.
Yeah. I know there was 2 questions in there. What's up there a little bit? I answer it quickly, simply that Jimmy asked if the belly putters sell. The belly putters do sell. I will always pick a belly putter as long as it's in a thrift in the thrift price range. But every belly putter I have ever owned and bought has sold. I don't know. They're rare, and they usually measure over 45 inches in height. And as long as you can get it under 50 inches or on these boxes I show and FedEx it, or you can USPS it too. But, yeah, that's a money club. And then Simply Dana asked about the old golf balls. The only, if you're saying old golf balls, If you find like a ping, I've not found this yet. My buddy has, but you can find ping golf balls. Those are worth a lot of money. The old ones, I mean, like I got a collection over here. I ain't done too much research. It's just small amounts of money, like $4 or $5 plus shipping. It's kind of like buying a cheap video game. I just ain't got time to list $4 or $5 golf balls, but they will sell. Find like an old Acushnet ball or a old Callaway, but most of the money's in the newer balls. They don't really, unless you find a collector out there for the pings or Ben Hogan. Ben Hogan is a good.
And Jimmy makes a good point here. If you see any Tiger Woods branded golf shoes, they're hot, especially any of the TW 13s, 14s, 15s.
Sell fast too.
Yeah, because they don't make them anymore, and people like them. And the first pair, I mean, I had them, and they were so durable. They wouldn't get dirty. I mean, you could just wipe them off. They're done. They're very durable. So people are looking after those things.
Yeah, I wish I could find more of them. They sell faster than ping putters. I mean, that's amazing how fast those things sell.
Now, I have a question for you, Casey. When you have buyers asking about, pictures of your clubs, I mean, obviously you know what to take pictures of and so forth, but if like for a driver, for example, do you always show the face and the top line so people know if there's any marks or whatever?
Oh yeah.
What I mean by that is, a typical club, this is the face where you hit the ball with. This is the top where you look at, and this is the bottom, heel, toe, and then Tracy wanted to ask about shaft and hosel. Clubs, the club head can be just what people are looking for, because you can exchange, interchange the shaft with whatever you want, because newer clubs have a screw in here and you can take this out, just a little wrench, boom, you pop it out in 2 seconds.
Yeah. If you're asking like how I take the pictures of them, and I do a 360 of the golf club head, like the face, I'll take the driver. I do it. Like you use the driver. So like I usually lay it on a flat table and just take a picture of the head, or I'll just lean it up and kind of give it like a facial profile. But yeah, the head, the face, definitely want to see this. They want to see if there's any scratches on this end right here. Definitely the toe up. They want to see that little area there. And yeah, you were talking like right here. You want to take a picture of that there.
Right, because that matters to people. So
I'll take a picture of this too, because this always gets paint chips. This is an immaculate Nike VR driver. I'm surprised I don't see any paint chips.
Yeah.
But this right here always gets scratched up, and eventually you'll see a ding right here somewhere, or like a scuff mark up here.
Because they have what's called a sky mark or idiot mark, right?
Yeah.
The ball and it deflects and it takes paint and stuff off of here. So people want a nice clean line.
Yeah, a lot of the Nike stuff for some reason, like I'm surprised to see how this one's so clean. But a lot of the Nike clubs have a lot of paint chipping, especially the old CPR hybrids. But yeah, the shafts, I do take pictures of the whole length of the shaft, and then there's always the shaft name. Like this is a Voodoo shaft, and then I have the shaft flex. But this one's confusing. I still try to figure this out myself. It says SVR6, which I'm assuming is a stiff flex. Nike or Voodoo puts that on their shafts.
Interesting. Most standard shafts will show, the model. Like for example, this is a 10. I think it's a 10-psi or 10C, and this is the flex would be kind of how it flexes. And typically you have regular, which is more flexible, stiff, extra stiff, and then if you ever see an M, it stands for mature, and that's or an S or for like a senior, mature. So it's a little more flex. So it's based on your swing speed and so forth. So keep that in mind, because people will ask, what's the flex on the shaft?
Yeah, the A-flex is confusing. That took me a little while to get used to what A-flex was. That probably took me 3 to 5 months to understand that. A-flex is senior flex.
Yep.
And then it'll say light flex on there. And that's normally a ladies flex, but it's weird when you get to that light flex.
Right.
When you get to the senior flex and the women's flexes, then you got to kind of get into the measurements. I don't want to confuse everybody, but that does get a little complicated, and you will get questions. So that's a long conversation I don't really want to get into. So, hey, Emily Conway's in here. Hey, Emily.
This is playing Pokemon. Good to have you, Emily.
I need to go visit her channel one day or something. I know she said something about mental health. Man, I need mental health.
I think it's every Wednesday night at like 7. I think it's 7 p.m. Eastern, maybe 8. She does, a really good show focused on mental health, and sometimes she'll bring in guests and so forth. It's a really good show. So check her out if you haven't.
Yeah, I need to probably do that one day. I don't know, man. Like I have
Not always, Tracy.
a stiff vest. Oh, how do you think that? Stiff's good for me.
We're going to talk about shafts and balls.
I understand. I've been at Tommy's show before in Tracy, son. I like their show, man. Like I haven't been there in a while, but I was in there the other night. It seemed like kind of, let it fly. Like they were talking about the whole YouTube love fest. I'm like you ain't lying, man. I sometimes wish I never got into YouTube because you get one guy out here that he'll get on there and call somebody out, and they're saying he's got 30,000 subscribers, and he went from 2. I'm like, and then he gets like 500 views per video. I'm like,
yeah.
I'd rather people just subscribe and watch the videos, man. If not, then I'm not making any money anyway. So subscribers and watch hours. I mean,
so Tracy has to get, I clicked on the wrong one. Tracy, there's not a best flex? Look, you're answering the question. Sorry, I missed it.
Yeah, he's answering the question too.
Yeah, Tracy was asking, is there a best flex or just personal preference?
Man, you want me to answer? Or you want?
Oh, I mean, for my take, it's any golf club is based on feel and then how you execute and what works for you. I mean, use what's going to work for you. There are some people who say, oh, you have to have at least 110 mile per hour swing to use a stiff, or you need to have 115 to have extra stiff, or whatever. There is some science to it, but at the same time, I've seen a lot of review videos and people who tested, and there's kind of minimal difference. Strike is more important, swing path, angle of attack, that kind of stuff. Your smash factor. I mean, I think it was Victoria was talking about math. I mean, there's a lot of math because it's physics and angles, and I kind of get into that geekiness side of it too. But it's a lot of it can be fill, because I can go up and use a regular shaft and hit a good one. I think I'm great. Well, I might have just struck it better, But what do you think, Casey?
Well, the shaft, yeah, pretty much. You're correct. I mean, I've always been told because I have a faster swing speed, I should be hitting stiff flex, which I do hit. I hit better with a stiff flex shaft, but in basic terms, I mean, to get it simplified, you got a regular flex shaft, and you got a stiff flex shaft. That's the two most common ones. The regular flex is going to be for your average golfer, and the stiff flex is going to be for someone who's swinging the hell out of a golf club. And then above that, you got an extra stiff flex, who's going to be even faster. That's for like long drivers. And then if you go below the regular flex, you're going to have a light flex or a flex. And these are for the senior golfers or women, because they have a women flex. And then Callaway, I don't even know what the heck it is, but there's a Uniflex shaft, and that actually comes on some Nikes too, a Uniflex. And then, of course, you're going to have graphite and steel, which I like steel, and that's preference. Unless you're talking about drivers in wood. So most drivers in woods, you'll have graphite in the new technology, versus where your irons, you'll have both, but most time it's going to be steel.
I've also seen a lot of times, a lot of players will want to have in their irons steel shafts. But then I've seen people who prefer a graphite shaft because it's a little more forgiving on their joints and their wrists and stuff over the course of a round.
I see Emily says something there too about the weight of the shafts. On that shaft itself, it'll have the weight normally measured in grams, and normally you can tell by the thickness of the shaft that, I mean, it's a smaller gram. Like it'll say 55, 65. The most I've seen is 80. Anything over 80.
Right. And a lot of it has to do with what what you feel comfortable with in swinging. Because if you have a nice smooth tempo when you swing, you may not need as much because you have good control over it. But if you have a real aggressive, real fast, at the top, you just come down really hard and your transition's not smooth, The bottom line is you want to be able to hit the ball as square as possible, to intend to go on your target line.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, and especially if you're starting out, it really ain't gonna matter. You just can go out there and you can just take any golf club and go out there and play. If someone's listening to chat and they're just getting all confused, don't get confused. Just get some golf clubs and go play. Especially if you're gonna resell golf clubs. I tell everybody who talks to me on IG and on YouTube about reselling golf clubs, man, go play golf.
Yeah,
because that's the best way to learn. So then you can kind of understand the lingo a little bit. That's kind of like anything. I mean, like anything with reselling, like you don't try it out. Like if you can do enough research, but don't know. I think golf is just with
It's
that.
kind of like driving a car. You can
Yeah,
go watch
it is.
videos and go to sit in a classroom, but you don't know how to drive until you get out and physically get in there and do it, right? You're never going to learn.
And it's fun. I mean, like,
Mm-hmm.
I have to do it for my mental health. Like, I have a great time just going out and just having a beer and
Yeah, and if
play.
you guys have a Top Golf near you, that's a fun way to go because you can go. They have heaters. It's like a bar. Imagine a bowling alley with a giant,
Yeah,
like a dartboard, but you're just using a golf club to try to hit some targets.
yeah. Top Golf's a game changer, man. That's a hangout, buddy hangout there. Even for girls, I mean, I say that's a nice place just to go on a date or have to hang out with the guys or friends. Like I don't have a Top Golf here where I'm at, but they're all around me. I haven't been to one yet. I can't wait to go. But I mean, I think Callaway owns it, or the acquisition is going through.
Right.
Thank God, because I bought a bunch of Callaway stock, and they're going up. So
You leave it up to Matt, my good friend. He's starting to break down his Project S shafts and the different weights.
see, that's 5.5 regular, 6.0. See, I didn't even know that. See, I just learned something. I always see that on there. I always just put on when I'm listing the golf club, I'll just put that 5.5 Project X because I know the Project X comes on there. I didn't know that. That's good stuff. It's like with Ben Hogan, man. He puts on his shafts Apex 3 and 4, and I'm like, what is that? Well, I kind of now figured out the 3 I think is regular and 4 is stiff.
Mm-hmm.
They code their shafts with different names instead of just saying it, what it is.
Look at that. First date at the driving range.
Good date.
There you go, Annie.
That's a pretty good date there. I don't think I've ever taken my wife to the drive. Well, yeah, I have.
I've taken mine to the driving range. She doesn't golf, but she wants to go drive the cart.
Yeah, I would drive the cart. I mean, it's fun. I want to take mine here soon to just go play around the golf. I think it's nice to get out, especially if the weather's nice.
Oh yeah.
Be out there outside, just enjoying a day. But no, me and my wife can go thrifting for golf clubs, and she knows what to look for now. I'll post on IG sometimes, man. She'll bring home the loot. Like she knows what to look for.
Yeah, golf is a good couples thing, It's 2 people sitting in a cart just enjoying around. If you want that kind of a thing. Otherwise, some people like to get away.
That's true too, yeah. Especially for
You
kids. Like I have 2 kids, man. Sometimes it's just my getaway from. I love my kids to death, but man, I have a 5-year-old and a 2-year-old, and they can be a handful.
Yeah.
So
That's awesome. Now, are there any other questions in the chat in terms of, you've seen a club or you might have a club? You got questions for Casey or myself?
I don't even see the chat count. How many did you have in the chat?
I popped out the chat, so I don't even know how many people have been in, to be honest.
Yeah, because they don't show my. I guess I've never hosted a live, but
Yeah.
I've never been able to see.
Credits are rolling, Tommy.
Credits are. I mean, I guess it's the closing time.
No, it's all good.
About out of my good juice here.
Yeah, I mean, I could talk about playing golf and the equipment and everything else, but I want to make sure that, you guys who are looking to learn more about buying and sourcing clubs and equipment, are getting what you guys need. That's why, having Casey here is so invaluable.
Appreciate it, man. It is. I mean, it is a fun thing to resell. I think. I don't know. Like I was telling you earlier before we got on chat, I don't know how long the Carolina Hustler will be available. Because I don't know, man. Like I do, I've had subscribers at my yard sales and some of my biggest finds, and I'm like, I put myself out there and all the information, and I'm niched to one thing, and I can't make it big on YouTube. I'm not saying I have the greatest YouTube content, but it could be a deadly, well, not say deadly weapon, but it could be a catastrophic issue for me if I had someone really pick on this in my area and watch my YouTube channel. So I say I don't know. I mean, I'm gonna put out this next video with my Scotty camera putter.
Yeah.
Like there's a YouTube channel called Stack Golf, man. These
Oh,
guys
I know those guys. That's the husband and wife, right?
oh, their content is. I love the content.
Yep. I've watched them for a long time.
They find stuff everywhere, but I find stuff everywhere too. And I mean,
They're in
they
Florida. So if you're in Florida near Jupiter, West
Daytona.
Palm Beach in that area, I know there's some good folks that live in the Florida area that, I mean, there should be that's like the mecca of golf. There should be so many golf clubs at either yard sales or thrift stores, what have you.
Daytona, Jacksonville, that whole area.
Yep.
Man, I've seen Stack Golf and where they're going, and that's the thing. Like they put themselves out there, and I'm watching this. I'm like, dude, I know where I'm gonna go in the summertime now. And I mean, that guy acts like he's not a reseller, and I know he's. I mean, what are you gonna do with all those golf clubs?
I mean, every show they're buying 10 to 20 clubs minimum.
I'm like, y'all ain't just testing those out. And then they said they were doing a Macari shop, but I'm like, no, that's just y'all helping the subscribers out. But y'all really are reselling these golf clubs because I saw the Macari account. I looked and they were selling these golf clubs stupid cheap.
Yep.
They do rock, Jeff. I ain't gonna lie. I like watching the content. I do like watching.
It's funny because he's a pretty good golfer, right? I mean, he's broken it. And his wife is pretty new, but the funny thing is, she's a better putter than him.
Yeah, she is.
She's always training putts,
especially with a TP Mills putter.
Yep.
But I mean, like I said, like I could put a video out that said thousands of golf clubs found in Goodwill for $1 a piece. It would get 200 views. Stack Golf put that out there. I mean, dude, they blow up, man. Like I'm like, dude. And it's cool. I love watching it. Like I do enjoy watching that channel. Like watching what they find.
Yep.
Find some cool stuff.
There's a lot of in the UK. I know Tommy and Tracy have a lot of UK followers that watch their show, but there's a lot of golfing YouTubers from the UK. Rick Shields or Mark Crossfield,
Rick Shields.
Me and My Golf. I mean, those guys, they have big channels.
Back before reselling. I mean, I was just learning how to play golf again in 2016. I started watching Me and My Golf. Those guys were awesome. I literally was in my living room pausing their motions, trying to figure out how to swing a golf club with those guys. And they were good. You talking about Andy and what's his name?
Pierce and Andy.
Pierce and Andy.
It's funny because they're sponsored by TaylorMade, so they always dress in the same everything.
Yeah,
so, if you will.
I ain't watching it forever. There's another guy that's in Florida. I forgot his name. He's an older man. Oh, you got to know who I'm talking about. But
I can't think of it.
He's pretty good. So Ed Ballinger or something.
Okay. There's a couple guys out of San Diego, golfholics that are pretty big.
Okay.
I don't know if you guys have heard of Paige Brannick. She's a golfer model. She's based out of Arizona. She does a lot of golf content. I used to watch a lot more than I do now. Before being in the reseller community, I used to watch tons of YouTuber, stuff that was all strictly golf related.
Have you ever watched GM Golf with the young guy?
Garrett and friends.
Yeah, dude, that is awesome. Dude.
They bought a house, I think around in northern Texas, maybe around the Dallas area, whatever. And they just do crazy golf stuff, in their trips, and they got their whole crew.
That guy has to be making more than a professional golfer off of YouTube videos.
Oh, they're making good money. I mean, they all have good sized channels. They have sponsors. And they're traveling all over. They're doing stuff. So,
dude, as soon as this video pops out, I'm watching it, and it's got
he was gonna go play college golf and then eventually go pro. Go to Q school and other stuff. But his YouTube channel took off. And he couldn't be a college golfer and also make money, doing something else like that. So he didn't get out of being a creator. Yeah,
I heard him saying that. I don't blame him, man. I mean, dude, his content is so enjoyable to watch and so cool.
Yep.
I mean, it's amazing that the stuff he can do at a golf club. It makes his buddies look bad.
Well, he does all the trick shots and he does a lot of stuff, on Instagram and probably TikTok. I haven't really looked, but I imagine he has a lot of content on there too.
Oh yeah, I've seen the Instagram. I haven't watched TikTok videos, but I mean, I watch the Instagram and then the YouTube, of course.
Mm-hmm.
But that's definitely one to check out if you don't like golf. That's one I would just watch for entertainment. I mean,
it's trick shots and just doing funny things.
I'm like, what?
Pure golf.
I was like, is that just some editing tricks that he just do, or did he really just do that?
It's a mixture. There's some stuff that he's like spliced together and had editing stuff that's done for some of that stuff. So
okay, I think like him rolling the ball down the stairs at one time. I saw that. I was like,
oh
there's
yeah,
no way he just did that.
yep. So I don't want to wrap this up, but I wanted to make sure people are, did you guys have a good time? Is this stuff you like to hear? Did you like to hear more? I could talk about golf forever, as you can probably see, but I wanted to make sure, you guys are getting what you're looking for out of this show itself.
Definitely. Yeah. Emily said, love hearing about what people are passionate about. Yes. It's cool to talk about too. Appreciate that. I actually enjoy talking about it. So it was nice for you, Dan, to have me on your channel and for people to come out and listen to me talk about it. Because normally I hate, I've been on some lives before and we start talking about golf because everybody knows I'm a niche seller on golf clothes, but I think it's kind of boring. But try to make it fun, especially on the YouTube video side of it too. Well, thank you. Appreciate that.
Yep. Thanks, KJ. And Dana, did you want to ask any other questions? I know you talked about maybe showing some clubs that you had, because I think Dana said she got some clubs recently and might have some questions for us. I don't know if you're interested or not, but if not, that's cool too. We can always talk online.
I like looking at clubs too. I got a lot of people send me stuff. I get kind of bombarded on IG, but you're more welcome to send me what you got on Instagram.
Andy summed the whole show up. Unga bunga, buy a Scotty camera.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I ain't lying, man. Scotty's I put with a Scotty, and that thing puts amazing.
Now this is probably a better question for Casey. What is kind of average prices you see for clubs at thrift stores?
What is the common sold price for the average clubs we pick up at Goodwill? When we get them on eBay, roughly what to run of the mill clubs sell for? So at thrift stores, normally thrift stores themselves will price them what they want. Goodwills, it depends on the area. Normally I'm picking up golf clubs probably about $3 a piece. And then we get them on eBay, roughly what they run the mill sell for. My average sell price on a golf club is usually about, on a single golf club, is like $35 on a single, 25 to 35. Like I usually will make at least $20 on a golf club, deal with it. And then like the iron sets make a little bit more if you can put them all together. What sell for? That's just $20-$30. I would say if you're picking up your average name brand, they're going to be 10 years, maybe around 10 years older on the average. Probably going to make about $20-$30. And that's from finding from a thrift store. Because people aren't going to really honestly throw away like their brand new golf equipment, but they're going to throw away their 10-year-old golf equipment. And that's what you still
That's what I was talking about. It's, you buy a brand new iron set for $1,200 or you buy a new driver for $500, you're going to want to use it for a while and try to get some money worth, before you say, I'm going to get rid of it cheap. You're not going to get rid of it cheap, because here's another thing. As a golf person that buys golf equipment, let's say I bought a driver for $500. I'm going to use it for a couple of years. And then if there's something else I try and I like, if it's still fairly new, I might get some decent trade-in value at a store where that $500 driver I might get a trade-in value of $250 at the store, assuming I buy something,
Yeah, a lot of people take their clubs to Dick's to get their money back too, and Dick's their prices are above eBay prices in the used golf club section.
Yep.
Man, what are y'all? They'll take them to Play It Again. Play It Again, I have a big collection of golf clubs, and they're actually decently priced on them. And sometimes you can go to not Dick's. You can go to Dick's and do this too, but you can do retail arbitrage on Dick's and Play It Again, especially Play It Again.
Yeah, Jimmy was asking about that earlier. I didn't highlight it, but Jimmy was asking, is there any kind of retail arbitrage that might be worth considering, trying to resell?
Yeah, Dixon Play It Again. And they're still gonna be in the used. There's nothing far as new. Like if you were going to Ross to pick up new sneakers,
yeah,
happened with golf clubs. I doubt it, but you can find used golf equipment in Dixon Play It Again and score big sometimes.
Yep. Because they have the used section in those places, that are just random clubs that they just have out there that they might be selling. And comp them and see if there's something that might be worth trying to turn over.
Yeah, I know you found a Scotty in there too. I found Scotties in the. I'm not valued low enough to resell, but I mean, like I saw Stack Golf pick up a Scotty one time out of Dick's. Dude, it was T-stamp, but then something happened. I forgot. If you don't remember that video.
Okay, so guess what? We have our first guest. I don't know if she's going to sing for us, but she's going to pop on. Hey, Dana.
So how that golf?
No, I'm not gonna sing.
How are you doing, Dana?
Can you hear me?
It's a little quiet on my end. I don't know. Can you hear okay?
I can hear pretty good. Hey, Dana. How are you?
Hey, Casey. How are you?
I'm doing good.
Hey, everyone in the chat.
So Dana got some clubs, and she wanted to show us. And
Nothing fancy. I mean, it's old set apparently.
You got you got half a good. You got half a good and half a bad.
Can you guys see? Should I zoom in?
No, you're good. Your Callaway 10 degree right there, that's gonna sell good. And then that Steelhead 3 will sell pretty good. The other two probably jump.
Oh,
But I'm sorry to say that.
no.
those Callaways, the Steelhead number 3 wood right there, as long as the grip's good, you should see 15 to 20. And that 10 degree driver is about 15 to 20. So you got 30, 40 bucks for the clubs on the right.
And even if the grip isn't good, as a buyer, I don't care what the grip even looks like. I'm going to spend $10 and put the grip I want on it anyway if I was going to play it.
You can re-grip it, right? So.
Yeah. That's true. That's why I said that 15, 20. If a good grip, looking at 20, but they will, and as a buyer, they will kind of compensate you with an offer because they know they got to spend $10 on a grip.
Yeah.
That's why I always think of it when I'm selling a golf club that those 3 there.
I thought it'd be easier to take a picture instead of trying to hold it up and.
I mean, that looks like a square 2, which you could try.
I didn't know if these are rare or just commons or just cheapos.
They're probably cheapo square 2. I've known that brand. They're not going to be too valuable. But hey, I know, lately, like I'll see, like if you don't follow Bearded Thrifter, he sells a lot of weird golf clubs now off the limb, and some of this weird stuff sells now where it used to didn't. I would say, like if I saw that in a Goodwill, I probably wouldn't pick it up. But those 2 Callaways that you just had, I'd have picked that up.
Okay.
Yeah, those might be. That's a zebra putter.
Is this anything?
It's those putters there. They are collectible, especially the thing I see is the finish right there. That finish with the chipping of the paint. That's going to decrease the value a little bit, but I'd say $10, $15 on that. But it will sell. It will sell.
Should I try to sell these locally, like to someone as a set, maybe, or
you can.
I also have the what do you call it? The bag, the golf bag.
What kind of golf bag was it?
It's the last picture. I guess we'll get to that. It's a Wilson. It looks vintage.
That's a Dunlop Northwestern Spalding. Yeah,
those are chipped.
Yeah, even with that, those brands right there, they're very hard to sell. Spalding does make some decent stuff if you find like I picked up a set the other night, but they were the Tour versions. They had the name Tour on there, like you were saying earlier, and they were made out of a forged iron. But those probably not going to sell too.
These are like commons. Okay.
Yeah, like I said, you could try on eBay and see what happens. You never know because some people may have that set and they're missing those irons. But unless it has TaylorMade, Callaway, Titleist, Ping, those name brands on there, it's going to be hard to move. You can probably that's good stuff there. That's a Mizuno set. That's an older Mizuno.
Oh yeah,
that's an older Mizuno.
I'm missing 1 and 2. Is there a 10?
No,
there is no 1 and 2.
You're fine there because that's good.
You're not skipping any numbers.
Exactly. Yeah, you got the straight. It's almost like playing cards. You want a straight. You really want that pitching wedge, but even without the pitching wedge, that will sell.
I wouldn't worry too much about it.
That's gonna sell. I need to know the submodel of that. They look like the older Mizunos.
Do you know what it says on not the face where you hit the ball, but the other
I can
side that
check
will
it. I
have
can
the
physically
model
check it.
number. Like, does it say like it might say like MP3 or MP5 or whatever.
Yeah. I don't think that's the forged ones.
No, it wouldn't be. These are older.
Yeah, that's like a cavity back from like the 90s, I think.
Mhm.
But they still will sell because it's Mizuno.
It says MHT
MHT. I mean,
at midsize. This is number 3 I'm looking at.
yeah, it's just
The whole set could be the same, model.
Yeah, they're the same model.
You said MHT?
Yes, MHT.
I'm not sure. I know they make the older the Mizunos. I've not ever sold the older Mizunos like that, but those Mizunos still will sell. I mean, I can comp them real quick. What is it called again? The Mizuno.
MHT Mizuno. Mid-size. It says stainless steel. Are these obviously stainless steel, right? The grip is nice.
MHT.
Oh, the mid-size, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's a single iron selling for $20, like a 5-iron, for example.
Yeah, that's what I just saw. The 5-iron.
The grip says lambkin.
Yeah, lambkin grips.
Somebody
Oh,
regripped
that's
it.
just the grip. Oh, okay.
And there was a question that I think was it Frank that asked, is it worth changing out a grip that's bad?
No,
I wouldn't put any money into grips.
I have done it. It comes out the same. I've regripped them, and then we might get $5 more.
Yeah, it's marginal for the extra work you have to do. I mean, if you knew how to regrip yourself, you might save a little doing it, but it's not, in my opinion, it's not worth the time.
Yeah, no, I've never regripped them. I'll tell you what is worth the time sometimes to do, and it sucks. And it requires a razor blade and a lot of brute force. But if you get that tacky grip, trying to resell them, they go ahead and rip the old grips off and sell them like that without the grips on it. And that just it looks cleaner. It's kind of like, I don't know how to explain that. But, they have the old tacky the wing dry tack grips that go bad all the time. You strip those off and have just the steel shaft. It looks better on picture, and the golfers are normally, well, they're ready to go to throw new grips on and play them.
Noisy golf club here.
Well, that's why people, for like your putter, your woods, use a head cover, because when you're, carrying your bag and you're
they bang around each other.
Yeah, they clang together. So you want to protect the ones that are softer. These irons, if they hit each other, it's not a big deal. But those other clubs are a little bit more, fragile in that sense.
Yeah, especially the forged.
So like this set, you recommend to sell like this?
Yeah, so I would sell just like
3
that.
to 9. Okay.
Yeah, if you want,
they're the balls I was asking about. I have one that has a J on it. Like it looked like somebody autographed it with a J.
Probably with their initials, so they had the same.
Oh, so they don't.
They just marked it for your own personal. Everybody
okay,
does
there's
that.
the bag.
Yeah, it's cool Wilson bag.
Yep, it's older.
Yeah, that'll sell.
It's definitely vintage.
You could honestly, I would sell the Mizuno set. I would sell the 2 Callaway clubs, and then I don't know. You might sell that Wilson bag if it's in decent shape, and then take the rest of the club.
It's a little bit. What do you call it when it's not rotten, but it's starting to fall apart?
Yeah, I mean.
So from a buyer perspective, I bought like a Ben Hogan staff bag, like a stand bag, or actually it was like a cart bag that's more, vintage, if you will, just so I can keep my Ben Hogan irons in as just a display case, if you will.
Yeah, that's the one thing about collectors. Like that Wilson bag you have, someone might have some Wilson staff blade irons that they want to match to that bag.
Yep.
Dan matching his Ben Hogan's to his bag.
Yep.
That's like that's a cool bag. I would try to sell that online unless it's really coming apart. I see that little part right there. Yeah. I don't know.
Cracking in the plastic.
Is it like damaged? Like, is it cracked? And
it's cracking here, and then it's like a little yellowed, from being old.
Yeah.
Probably from being in the sun too. But it's a leather staff bag from probably the 70s, maybe 80s. I don't know. It's worth a shot on eBay. Just make sure if you're selling it, you let everybody, the whole resale deal, you let the buyer know where it's cracked and messed up, and make sure the zippers work. But that's
thank you, Jeff. Jeff loves the sounds.
it. Jack, that's
Ooh, I
Love
could
playing
start
together.
a golf. Is there a golf ASMR channel?
Is there a what?
Golf ASMR channel?
You gonna start one?
Just kidding.
Just have
Oh,
an
awesome.
ASMR video of a ball falling into the cup. Golfers love that sound.
Oh, that's it.
Perfect.
That
Thank you
and the
guys
driver.
for having me on, and
Thanks for showing the pictures.
thanks, Casey.
You're welcome. I like looking at golf stuff. So if you like find something you ain't sure about it, as long just shoot me a picture on Instagram. There's a lady on Instagram now that sends me stuff, man. And she's taking off, man. Her name's Hustling Home Mom, and this one finds all kind of stuff. I'm like, man, she found the M5s the other day. I'm like,
Really?
I thought my Scotty Cameron car was I thought that was a home run, and then here I am with looking at M5, and she found a set of Ping G25s. I think what she found,
Okay.
and some other stuff, and some Nike hybrids. I'm like, dang it, gone. I forgot where she lives.
Is she near you or no?
She ain't near me. Thank God. Where do you find that at?
You have some competition.
Yeah. No, I mean, I got plenty around here. No lie. Like, dude. Like, I know one day I saw an M2 driver sitting in a yard sale bag, and I ran to it. And it was an hour. It was gone.
Wow.
I mean, I know most of my competition around here, and they're not even eBay resellers. They're just reselling the Facebook Marketplace. But they go around every day looking for golf clubs.
Thank you again. I'm gonna hop into the chat.
All right. Thanks, Dana.
Appreciate
Appreciate
it.
you coming
Thank you
on.
so much.
Thanks for
Okay,
helping,
good night.
Casey.
Yeah,
Thank
man.
you.
That's like a hobby of mine now. Like I said when we were in the back, like I never thought in my wildest dreams this is what I'd like to do in my life. Like I'm gonna be a golf club guru. And I went to school to be a car mechanic, and I couldn't swing the golf club. Well, I grew up with my granddaddy playing golf, but I even remember then back when I was a kid looking at golf clubs and thinking they would look cool with the head covers on them. And he had the Callaway Big Bertha driver. And I was like, ooh, that's cool. That says Big Bertha on it. They named a Hurricane after that thing. So I don't know. And then we get to this point in my life in my 30s, and this is what I do for a living. It's kind of nuts.
Yep.
Like
you found something you really like, right?
Yeah. I mean,
outsourcing that much more fun. It doesn't seem like as much work, finding these things, which is yeah.
Someone was asking me I think it was my wife, man, or somebody's like talking about what people like to do for a living, and like, I mean, don't want to get old to doing what you do all day. Like you list golf clubs all day. I'm like, nah. The only thing that gets old with me is USPS losing my packages. That's the only thing that gets old, because that ain't never really happened as much as it has lately. That's frustrating. Oh.
Poor Emily.
And don't go there, because I have one right now missing from Facebook Marketplace right now, and that's the only thing I like about Marketplace is that they have such an easy way to message me. And they can just say, hey, start talking. Where eBay, it's a little more effort, and I cringe to see an eBay message, which is fine. I've gotten over that mentality of looking at eBay messages. But man, I had one 2 years ago when I first started this. I had a lawyer try to sue me over a set of golf clubs, and that was scary.
Really?
Wow, it was scary. I did, man. I sold this guy a Callaway Big Bertha set out in Texas, and I get kind of chilly talking about it because the guy was scary. When I shipped the golf clubs to him, it said law office of blah blah blah. I'm like, damn, I sold this to a lawyer. But then he sends me negative feedback, which I got removed, and he also told me that the golf clubs that I sent were wrong, which wasn't. He said I tried to scam him. I was like, I don't see how. Just send me the golf club back. You have your money back. Then he want me to send him a check. I'm like, I'm not sending you no check. Then he sends me, I am a lawyer. I will sue you. And then he sends me like, you do not want to go down this path. This path is for destruction of you financially. So you better. I'm like, eBay wasn't trying to help me. They're like, well, he can sue you if you want. So they can sue you for anything they want. I'm like, really? Like, I just started this game. I didn't have a lot of money then either, and I had a full-time job, and I was like, I ain't got time for this stress. Like, he can have the golf clubs. He can have the money. I don't care. Just get me out of the situation. The guy was very –
Sounds like he was just trying to strong arm you.
he did, man. He scared me. I mean, it was 2 years. It was in 2017, and I mean, this was about this time. Even, like, he still was messaging me at Christmas time. Like, where's my check? I'm like – I was like, I still will sue you. I'm like, for what? The PayPal gave you the money back. You had a case open. They sided with you because I told them to. I told them to give you the money back. You can have the golf clubs, but I got it back.
Jeez.
I was devastated, man. I quit selling on eBay for probably 2 months after that. And I was done. I was like, I ain't dealing with this. I ain't never had an issue like that ever again. But I mean, that was 3 months of reselling as part time, and
you were very green, and then to have that happen.
yeah, I was like, this is what I got going on. I was just sticking my full-time job. I mean, at least I don't get lawyers trying to sue me over iron sets. I mean, and the issue was so stupid.
Right.
But I've learned how to deal with situations. That was the worst one. But it did season me. And I've dealt with a lot of stuff, and I'm dealing with stuff right now when it comes to this packaging issue. And then I've dealt with like the shaft issues and like I know a lot of people asking questions about golf clubs, and it's cool to resell them, but this is not all bread and butter. I have my issues just like everybody else will have with their reselling issues. Like if Jimmy's selling toys, I'm sure he has issues or whatever y'all sell. And the golf club thing, you gotta be pretty tight on it on the area that you're. I mean, you can't. I've seen resellers list golf clubs and fail at it miserably, and you will. I mean, pray to God they don't. As a golfer, Dan, I mean, what you expect.
Well, that's just it. I think there's different levels of golfers and what the equipment they buy. Right? You have your kind of person who just wants to get out and play. They don't care what set they're playing with. Then you have someone who they want the best of the best, and if they have a favorite club they want to replace, they're going to spend whatever it is to replace that club.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, there's some of them, man. Like I hate selling newer golf equipment. Like if I get a golf club set or something over $200, I start cringing because I know
people nitpick it because it's higher priced, or they're expecting it to be near new, or what?
All that.
No, okay.
Like all of that, or they're fake, or what are they getting, and then
yeah,
I get kind of. I'm very nervous about it. Do not sell lawyers. Hey, I mean, you can't help who hits that buy now button.
Right.
Like I check everybody's feedbacks. Since that too, I do check the feedbacks on everybody. Like I look at all. If you have more than 3 negative feedbacks given to a buyer or seller, you ain't getting an offer. I don't care.
Move on.
You have to buy it at the buy now price, and there better be something wrong with what I just sold for you to give me a negative, because I feel like how I do it is pretty cut and dry. Like you know what you're getting, and the way I ship it, you're getting it in the correct form. So I do have 100% positive feedback as of right now. I mean, the shipping thing is just. I'm just waiting on it, man. I've already had to refund 2 people golf clubs.
Yeah.
So, man, hey, man, this has been real fun, man. But I probably do have to go.
Yeah, we're coming up on the 2-hour mark anyway. So
yeah, my wife
a little quiet in the chat. So I appreciate you coming and spending the time with us, Casey.
Man, it's been fun. I knew this would be a fun little chat. I appreciate it. Like I've always wanted to kind of do a live with just talking about golf clubs and have resellers support too. I'm glad everybody came out and talked about it because it's pretty cool. I get a lot of questions a lot on Instagram, and people do comment on the YouTube videos, and it's nice to kind of get in front of everybody and talk.
Yep, for sure. Yeah, and I want to thank everybody that came into the chat. There's a lot of people who have already left and you sent me private messages and stuff thanking me, but I wanted to thank everybody. It was fun. It was my first time trying a live, hosting it on my end, so I had a lot of fun. So I appreciate the interaction in the chat, and everyone spend their valuable time with me and Casey. So thank you, everybody. I appreciate it. So I hope everybody has a good night. I'm sure I'll see everyone around, but if I don't, happy holidays, happy New Year, and thanks again.
Yeah, Merry Christmas to y'all too. Take care.